My name is Victoria Winters. A morning wind has cleared the nighttime mists that shrouded Collinwood, and seen from the cliffs, the sea and sky share a summer blue that obscures the far horizon, hinting perhaps that the boundary dividing earth and heaven has been dissolved. But other boundaries remain. The boundaries that separate a tormented father from his daughter. The boundaries in knowledge that separate mystery from truth. And the boundaries within the mind that separate a young woman from herself.
Can you hear my voice? Can you hear my voice? Don't answer, just nod. Can you hear my voice? Good. Good. Now just concentrate on the light. Raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. Your right hand. Raise your right hand. Very good. Lower your right hand. Do you know who is speaking? Do you know who is speaking to you? What is my name? Do you know who I am?
Doctor?
Yes, doctor. But do I have a name? What is my name?
Doctor.
Dr. Hoffman. Dr. Hoffman.
Dr. Hoffman.
Good. And do you know your name? Do you have a name? What is your name? Don't be frightened. Just tell me, what is your name?
You mean to tell me that I can't even see my own daughter?
I'm just telling you, I don't think it's a very good idea.
But I haven't had one word from that Dr. Hoffman since we took her up to the hospital.
Now listen, Sam, for better or for worse, Julia Hoffman isn't a particularly communicative woman.
You mean you haven't heard anything either?
Just a brief letter telling me that Maggie Evans was under treatment.
And that's all?
I think it's all we have a right to expect right now.
No report of her condition. Is she better? Is she worse? Nothing at all.
Well, it's possible that there's nothing to report that we don't know already.
We don't know anything.
Well, maybe Dr. Hoffman doesn't either at this point.
Well, she should have notified either you or me about that.
Now, look, Sam, I told you right from the start that Julia Hoffman was a little bit unusual as doctors go.
I think a little bit too unusual.
Wouldn't she almost have to be as interested as she is in treating Maggie?
What do you mean?
Now, look, Maggie's case is far from ordinary. We both know that.
But I can still see myself turning her over to somebody I know absolutely nothing about. A doctor I've never even met. The night we took her up there, I didn't even meet her.
I've given you my word that Hoffman's best for Maggie.
Has she showed her the sketch of the child yet? You know, the little girl that brought me down to the beach. Now, did Maggie recognize her?
I don't know. I've told you I don't know any more than you know.
Dave, I've got to see her. I'm going to go crazy if I don't.
Listen, Sam, you're not going to go crazy. You've held on this long. I know you. You're not going to give up that easily.
Oh, but I feel like I've lost her all over again. I hear the wind at night, and I think she's calling to me. I'm lying asleep. I hear a dog howling, and I wake up and I find myself shouting her name. Maggie, Maggie, Maggie.
You know as well as I do that Maggie is safe and that she's under good care.
I've got to see her with my own eyes. I've got to.
Well, maybe she shouldn't see you. Maybe she shouldn't see anybody or anything that'll remind her of the present.
But isn't the present what we're trying to bring her back to?
Yes. But isn't it obvious that she's so terrified of it that she doesn't want to come back? You and I have no right to force her.
All right. Then don't let her see me. But let me see her. I know, it sounds stupid and hysterical, but please, Dave. You know what I went through when she was missing. Thinking I'd never find her. And then all of a sudden, to find her only to lose her again. Now, if Dr. Hoffman doesn't want me to see her, okay, I'll accept that. But I've just got to see her. If only for a few minutes.
To begin with, Sam, Windcliffe's over 100 miles away.
Dave, are you sure those are the real reasons you don't want me to go there?
Of course I am.
Are you sure?
Well, they sound logical enough, don't they?
Yes. But I keep having the feeling there are other reasons. Is there something there? Something at Windcliffe that you don't want me to see? Something about, has something to do with Maggie?
Of course there isn't,
Dave.
Sam.
For the first time in my life, I don't think I believe you.
All right. I'll call Dr. Hoffman and see if she minds having a visitor.
Make it plural. Visitors. Joe's coming along with me, I promised him.
Now, just 1 minute.
Now look, if she doesn't want Joe to see her, all right, he'll accept that. But he's coming with me, I promised him.
All right. See what Hoffman has to say.
Don't call her.
What?
Don't phone her.
But I have to.
Don't!
What do you mean?
Because I know as well as you do what she's going to say. She's going to say, don't come up here.
Now, look, Sam, you promised to abide by whatever Dr. Hoffman said.
But she's less likely to say I can't see her if I'm already there.
Now, look, I have to call that doctor.
Okay. But don't do it until Joe and I are gone. I don't want anything to stop us.
Sam, this isn't the way that this should be done.
All right. If that's not the way to be done, that's the only way if I'm going to get to see Maggie, and I don't care. Was it a deal? Will you call her after we leave?
No,
All right, then tell her I'm going to come up there anyhow.
I won't be able to.
You won't be able to. Why not?
Because I'm going to be coming up there myself. With you and Joe.
Sam, maybe we really shouldn't be doing this.
I thought you wanted to see her.
Well, I do, but
But what?
well, I don't know about you, but if I see her and she doesn't recognize me like it was at the hospital just before she left.
But she's going to be better than she was then.
She seemed so lost, so helpless. She even looked as though we were deliberately trying to hurt her,
How can you say that?
frighten her in some way, only we couldn't help it. Now, what if it's like that all over again? What if it's worse for her than it is for us?
You think we should turn around, don't you?
I don't know what to think. All I know is that I'm scared.
So am I.
I'm sorry to be so abrupt, but I can't say I'm happy to see you or Mr. Evans and Mr. Haskell.
I didn't think you would be, Doctor, but I still think that Sam Evans' feelings should be taken into consideration.
I am not interested in Mr. Evans. My only concern is with Miss Evans.
I know that's how you feel. But I appeal to you, Doctor, to let Sam Evans see his daughter if it's at all possible.
Would you ask Mr. Evans and Mr. Haskell to come in, please? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Evans. This is an unexpected pleasure. You're Mr. Haskell.
Yes, that's right.
I want to see my daughter.
It's a little unorthodox not to notify me in advance. However, my methods are sometimes unorthodox, too.
You mean we can see her?
I think it can be arranged. I must warn you, however, that it could prove quite painful, both to you and to your daughter.
Well, isn't that more or less to be expected?
Pain does not always come in the way we expect. I just want to be sure you are ready for what may happen.
And what do you think might happen?
I don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't have to allow you to see your daughter so I could find out. Mr. Evans and Mr. Haskell are here to see Miss Evans. Would you see that they're taken up? Thank you. My nurse will show you where to go.
Can we both go up at once?
Why not?
Let's go, Joe. Coming, Dave?
No, you two will go on ahead. I want to talk to Dr. Hoffman.
All right. And, thanks, Doctor.
Reserve your thanks for afterwards, Mr. Evans. I have a feeling they're going to be a little more hesitant.
You really mean you don't know what's going to happen and you're going to let them go on up there and see her?
I know exactly what's going to happen.
What do you mean?
Oh, it'll be terrible. Her, for them.
Well, then why are you letting them go?
It's the only way to convince them not to meddle.
Doctor, they're not meddling. Surely you must understand how anxious they are to see her.
I am not interested in them, only in her. Forgive me if I seem to be without sympathy, but sympathy can sometimes be a hindrance or a deterrent. I'm looking for the truth. In this case, it is the truth alone that concerns me, nothing else.
Maggie, you have company. Your father is here. And a friend of yours, Joe Haskell. Would you like to see them? Come in. Please don't stay for more than a few minutes. I'll be right outside if you need me.
Maggie?
Hi, sweetheart.
You look fine, honey.
Yeah, how are you feeling?
I see you still got that little doll you found, huh?
Maggie, you getting everything you need? Is there anything we can get for you, send to you?
Honey, come on back and sit down, huh?
Maggie, you dropped your doll.
You want your doll? Here. Oh, it's very pretty. Do you remember where you found the doll?
Sam, I don't think we ought to be asking her any questions.
You remember once you had a doll you called Cassandra? Remember? And how angry you used to get when your mother and I used to call it Sandy?
Sam, we
remember?
really shouldn't try to make her remember anything.
I'm trying to get through to her.
But you can't.
Falling down, falling
Maggie?
Song again.
You remember me, Maggie?
London Bridge is falling down.
Was that
My fair
was that one of your favorite games? Hmm?
Take the key and lock her up. Lock her up. Take the key and
Maggie, no,
lock
no, no, no.
her up.
Maggie,
Now, take
no
it
one
easy,
is
honey.
locking you up.
Take
Honestly,
it
this
easy.
is a hospital where you're going to get better, Maggie.
Lock her up.
Oh, don't, Maggie, please.
Take the key and lock her up.
Maggie, Maggie, Maggie,
My
please.
fa-
Maggie. Please, you've got nothing to be afraid of. It's me. Oh, Maggie, please.
Take the key and lock her up. Lock her up.
All right.
Lock her up.
All right. I think you better go now.
Falling down. Take the bridge is falling down. My fair
Police still haven't come up with any clues. I haven't even been able to locate the child in Sam's sketch. You know, Doctor, right from the beginning, I've been hoping that you'd be the one to provide us with answers.
It certainly is my hope. But it will take time. Uninterrupted time.
Well, I don't think any harm is done to science by taking the human factor into account every once in a while.
Oh, Dr. Woodard, our methods have always differed widely.
Agreed.
But if I can come up with the results, that's all that matters, isn't it?
I suppose so.
And you still have faith in my competence?
Look, Doctor, there's no question about that. I may differ with some of your methods, but I've never had any doubt for a second about your ability.
Good.
Have you been able to find any hint at all as to what's the matter with the girl?
Yes.
Was there anything you'd care to tell me?
Not at this time.
Have you shown Maggie the copy of the sketch that Sam made of that little girl?
All in good time.
I thought that'd be your answer. Well, I'll try one more question. Have you gone on with the examination of Maggie's blood?
Certainly.
You know, right from the start, that's the part of this case that's baffled me the most. What I saw in that preliminary examination, well, I told you at the time, it was almost unearthly. I couldn't think of a phrase to describe it then, and I still can't.
Yes.
An unholy union seemed to be going on right in Maggie's blood.
I remember.
Well, have you been able to come up with any more accurate diagnosis than that?
Oh, yes, decidedly.
Well, can't you tell me what it is?
Not at this time.
Doctor, what was it that I saw? Look, in the name of sanity, what's going on in Maggie Evans' blood?
Didn't you say it yourself? An unholy union?
That was a figure of speech, a feeble effort on my part to describe something I couldn't identify.
Inadvertently, you may have described it very well.
What are you talking about?
All I can say is, I have nothing more to say at this time. Ask them to come in. Mr. Evans and Mr. Haskell have concluded their visit. I'm sorry you had to come so far for such a brief visit.
Well, I guess we shouldn't have seen her.
She was very frightened, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And it was very painful for you as well.
I don't want to talk about it.
Then perhaps you'll allow me to say one thing.
What's that?
Trust me. Trust me to let you know when it's advisable for another visit.
But I had to see her.
But you didn't see her.
What?
Was that your daughter? That frightened, poor frightened child? Well, certainly was not. It may be a long time, Mr. Evans, before you can see your daughter. Until that time, may I observe that your absence may hasten the day. Have you any more questions, Dr. Woodard?
Not at this time. Good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon. I'll be working with Miss Evans in a few moments. Would you make the necessary preparations, please? Thank you.
I wonder what it was that Dave didn't want me to see.
Maggie, obviously.
Or was it Dr. Hoffman?
You knew my name earlier. Have you forgotten it? What is my name? What is my name?
Lock her up. Lock her up. Take the key and locker. My fair lady.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.